A very good morning to you, Abongile. Now tell us what is happening in Port Elizabeth today.
Well, good morning to you, Elvis. Of course, we are here at Mloteni in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. This is where, the memorial site of the late Mr. Vuyisile Mini, who was hanged in Pretoria in 1964 for 17 counts of sabotage by the then apartheid government. We are here now to celebrate, or rather to commemorate, the 50 years of anniversary since he was actually hanged in Pretoria. I'm privileged here with me to be joined by Mr. Charles Ngagula, High Commissioner for South Africa in Mozambique. Mr. Ngagula, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to SABC News.
Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me.
Now, it's been 50 years since Tata Vuyisile Mini was hanged in Pretoria. Now we are celebrating, we are commemorating those events that happened in Pretoria. For you, as a member of the ANC and somebody who has had a role in the liberation struggle, what comes into mind when you think about him?
The first thing that is a worry for many of us is the fact that many of the young people who are growing up in this country don't understand the history of struggle and don't even understand what we were struggling against. Every ceremony, therefore, that seeks to raise the names of those who participated in the struggle is a very, very important ceremony for us. And to me, particularly, this today is very important because I was among those who on the day that this particular shrine was being launched was present. And I have made it one of my missions in life to ensure that I understand many of the episodes of the struggle for freedom in this country.
With regards to what the country has turned out to be in as far as democracy is concerned, do you think he would be glad that you are here today, or maybe he would say there's still more that needs to be done?
The first thing that we should say about Vuyisile Mini is his commitment to the freedom of his people. And when I say his people, I mean everybody who lives in South Africa in terms of the definition of the Freedom Charter, because he was struggling towards that end, that South Africa belongs to all who live in it. In other words, this freedom that he was struggling for is freedom that had to be enjoyed by everybody. At this time, one of the biggest problems we have is that we are not as yet united as a nation. Because it is important that we are united in order for us to be able to do those things that are necessary in order for us to advance, the concept of a liberated people.
I understand that later today you'll be delivering his memorial lecture at the Centenary Hall here in Port Elizabeth. What are you going to touch base on in as far as remembering him is concerned?
Well, I was looking at a number of themes that on such a day one should advance. And to me, the most important is the matter of unity. Because unity are the various bricks that we require in order for us to build this foundation that becomes a springboard for what we have defined as a better life for all. Now, if we don't have that unity of purpose, that unity that enjoins us to begin to do things together as a united nation, if we are unable to do that, we are not going to be able, therefore, to provide this better life for all our people, black and white, as is defined in the Freedom Charter. That is going to be the theme of my address.
Okay, and lastly, Mr. Ngagula, with regards to other activities that maybe are scheduled to take place in the country, in as far as remembering Mr. Mini, and of course the two that he was actually hanged amongst with in Pretoria, any other plans in place?
Well, so when we celebrate the lives of people, we define that celebration into a program usually for the whole month. You will recall that last month, October, was the Oliver Tambo month. And therefore, various people in the various areas of our country came together and had organized functions, some of them big, others small. But at all of those, they were talking about Oliver Tambo. This is the case with Vuyisile Mini as well. There are going to be events right across the country where his name is going to be raised.
Tata Ngagula, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Elvis, there you have it. Activities scheduled to take place throughout the country and for the rest of the month in remembrance of the fallen icon, Mr. Vuyisile Mini. That's all we have time for now here in Port Elizabeth. It's back to you in studio in Johannesburg.